Good morning out there, traders. It is May 13th, 2024, and welcome to the Apteros Daily Market Insight. Let's dive in a little bit here. So, last couple of days haven't had the greatest in terms of narratives. I've had levels out there. I just actually went back and realized that I didn't post these levels publicly. They were only in our student community. But this was the general landscape that we've been looking at for a little while now, where the upper time frames are in kind of a bearish location, the lower time frames are in a bullish location, but the lower time frames have been persistent and they have been holding. So in this kind of scenario where you're basically in a multi-time frame battle, trading the upper time frames with any sort of precision isn't what we suggest doing. We wait for the lower time frames to kind of shift and give us a trade opportunity to get on board with those upper time frames. And this is part of the balance of multi-time frame analysis, right? So we've been seeing our lower time frames essentially just holding on bullish locations, holding in bullish ideas. So in the short term, our market is definitely more bullish. We haven't seen trade opportunities really popping up on the short side, even though from the higher time frames, we are in areas that are generally bearish, according to our NADRO framework here. And we just haven't seen that information being validated on a day in, day out basis. The bullish side of things have been holding, and we've been seeing value migration to the upside. We just haven't been getting the downside stuff really sticking. And we're still not in the clear yet. We're still in a multi-time frame battle here between the bears and the bulls, but the bears haven't been able to kind of capture 1 or 2 days of continued rotation, right, to the downside, value migration to the downside. We haven't seen that information coming in from the bears yet. So as we wait patiently for that to happen, we trade with what is going on with our lower time frames. All right. So that's kind of the landscape we find ourselves in. These were, like I said, I don't think I released these levels out to the public last Friday. These were just in the student community as I was discussing this kind of scenario that we're in contextually. So let's take a look at what's going on today. All right, so the landscape today is bullish in general on our shorter time frames. You'll notice I don't have a bearish location. But just for reference, so before I get into scenarios, I mean, most of this area, pretty much all of this area on the upper time frames is a bearish location or destination for a balanced or rotational market. But until we actually see something on the lower time frames break down, we have to continue to trade those lower time frames that are more connected to our intraday landscape, right? So at this point, what we have essentially is a bullish line in the sand that we are scenario one, we are bullish up above that. Scenario two, we are bearish down below that. We have neutral levels that we are paying attention to for continuation. So in the immediate, like here and now, if we hold above this neutral zone, first target area kind of here for a little bit of a scalp. If we get back inside of here, heading into that upper zone, and that would kind of be the main target that we'd be looking for this leg of the bullish rhythm, right? There is another neutral target up above here that is a continuation of this trade idea. So if we get inside of this neutral reference and we hold it, the idea is that it goes to here, right? But there is a hurdle in the way to get up to that level that we have to pay attention to from one of our upper time frames. So this neutral level here is kind of the main target or main destination for a very bullish market coming into play today. And how do we know that it's very bullish? Well, it would be holding up above this neutral reference here, right? Holding up above that neutral reference, getting to that target, and then holding up above this neutral reference and continuing up would be that bullish information we'd be looking for. If it kind of rolls over here, we remain rotational in this zone, which was an area of prior value, and it's very possible that we end up building value here. So that means that our lower edge of this is a little bit more bullish in nature, because that's where the confluence is for our lower time frames, right? So even if we do roll over a little bit, we have to clear out this list before we can start thinking about a bearish opportunity, a true bearish opportunity, let's say. And then, of course, the idea here is that we, hold that area, come back into this as a main destination. You could use some stuff in between, some price action for scaling if you needed to, if that's part of your process, and then go from there to try to get to this first target if we pull back all the way to the line in the sand. And then, of course, from there, the same kind of stuff plays out that I was talking about earlier. If we do break down, then we start to see the beginning of a bearish opportunity for the session in that we can get, a move down into this neutral zone and then the ultimate destination down here into this neutral zone. And that would be a little bit more of a shorter term opportunity for us with scenario two. And we would assess if the bears have any more control over this to be involved with the two upper time frames that are in general in bearish locations. So that's kind of the full landscape of everything. If you are an agile trader, you understand the framework. A lot of this probably makes a lot of sense to you. If you're not, you can always join our community and learn kind of what we do with our analysis and all that stuff. But if you just use these levels generally for trading, just keep in mind some of the analysis that goes behind them. Right now, we are in a bullish context in the short term, and we have to pay attention to the bearish context overall in the long term. But until we actually see something shift in our lower time frames, we go with the shorter time frame. What is kind of bullishness? Because it hasn't given us a reason to really start looking to the bearish side at all yet. So we continue to play with what is and trade what's in front of us in our analysis. So trade well out there, mind your risk, and let's get after it.